Hey guys, Tisha here, and we're back for another Sister Wives Season 2 rewatch. This time is Sister Wives Season 2, Episode 11, Sister Wives in the City of Sin. Now, I'm warning you right now, this video is going to be long because my notes are longer. I tried, y'all. I don't know, sometimes I'm a little too detailed, so then I look and I'm like, okay, I need to condense this a little bit. But then other times I'm like, I think that's why some of you are here. You like to hear me talk a whole bunch. I don't know why, but you do. So grab your glass of whatever you want to partake in. Mine is going to be some Sam's Choice water. And you guys feel free to do whatever you want to do. I took my sip. Did you guys take your sip? Okay, let's get started. So we begin this episode with another recap of how we ended up where we are, which is in Vegas. It's the first day that they're in the vacation home since the move. We find out it is January. It is like 60, 70 degree weather. I think Cody said 70 degree weather. And there's a lot of unpacking to do. For the first time in months, Robin has been able to have an appetite and been able to eat because she lost a whole 15 pounds because of all the stress of things. And Cody is able to actually sit in not a recliner, a chair, and watch daydreaming. And his wives are enjoying seeing him happy, and all the adults feel relaxed. Meanwhile, the little kids, they feel like they're on a vacation because this home has like a hot tub and stuff and it's nice outside. And Cody says, in his words, the big kids are bitter. I will say that they were sad and bitter. We know that they have 30 days in this rental, but they're expected to unpack, find a school or the school that they would like the kids to go to, so that they could have them registered to that school, even though they know that at this point, the 30-day rental isn't going to be their permanent address because they still need new homes. You cannot make this up. Cody talks about the big kids and how the big kids don't understand how serious things were for them because they didn't let them know. I continue to struggle this because I believe that they very much were in danger of separation, but I still don't believe that it was as severe as the family has made it seem. It doesn't seem, like I said in the last review, like any of them were questioned, not the children or the adults. So them trying to convince us of how like dangerous this situation was and how alarming it is for them, I'm not buying it at this point. I feel like they made things something that maybe was out of concern, and on a scale of 1 to 10 should have been like maybe a 7 of concern. They put it like a 15. Just my personal opinion. Y'all let me know in the comments down below what you think. We hear that the teenagers from people like, was it Madison? Yeah. That the teenagers are homesick. Meanwhile, Mary is talking about how even though this is a rental and it's only been a day, that she feels like she's at home. Mary embraced this move more than I remembered her embracing this move. And it seems like even at some point, Christine did as well. The teenagers are tired. The adults are light and fluffy. Maddie talks about how they don't have a home, they don't have a school, and they're living out of a suitcase. She does not feel like this is a functional life. I agree. Robin brings out how it's ironic that they're acting like this because even though they've moved, the investigation isn't gone. That the move is just allowing them to create a mindset like they're out of it and things are okay. It doesn't change anything on paper. And when she said this, I was like, huh? So why did y'all move then? If the investigation didn't change once you all move, what was the point of you guys moving? Something about that statement confused me. Mary says that she feels like they've been guided down to Vegas. And you know, when she's talking about guidance, she's talking about God guided them. But I feel like y'all picked it. The rental house that they have, that the kids are calling a vacation house, has 4 bedrooms in it. So all of those children plus 5 adults for 4 bedrooms. They decide amongst the wives who's going to get the biggest bedroom, and they give it to Christine because Christine has Truly and they want her to be comfortable with the crib. Excuse me, and all that stuff. We then find out it is it's Cody's 43rd birthday, so they're gonna throw him a party. He lets us know that this is something that they do for everybody, that it's not just because him that they go out for birthdays, and that in their family birthdays aren't forgotten. I guess Cody forgot this rule and decided that this would no longer be a rule once he moved to Flagstaff, because we all know that he forgot Gabe's birthday and he didn't do anything for Savannah's. So once they got to Flagstaff, we're going to say this rule no longer applied. Robin speaks about how it's important to celebrate birthdays because when you have such a big family, you have to celebrate birthdays so people feel special. Robin is really, really great at speaking like she's been a polygamous wife forever, when at this point it's been, I think they said 10 months. Cody lets us know that he is ready to have more children, and he's been pressuring Robin to have more children. But Robin said that she didn't feel like the time was right because of the impending investigation and everything else. And they decided once they got to Vegas that they were ready to have babies. I'll talk about that a little bit further down. But in the math that I did, she was pregnant before they got to Vegas. In the math that I did. So, y'all want to start having babies even though you're in a rental house with 4 bedrooms. Interesting time to all of a sudden want to have babies. Stay tuned in Vegas. So now the parents want to focus on putting things in storage, finding rentals. They want rentals that will be close to each other as well as in the school area where they want their children to go to school. I know that Mona, the realtor, she just had to be frustrated with them at times because they had a lot of demands for a family that is doing a lot of things last minute, but she managed to get it done. They all decide that Robin needed to be the first person to get a house because, in Robin's words, her kids moved around so much. Here's the thing. I'm not saying that the children did not deserve to be in a home, because all the children deserve to be in a home, but I'm tired of acting like her kids moving around so much affected them so badly, because her kids are younger kids, and her kids are also part of the group that Cody was talking about when he said the younger kids are really enjoying themselves and they feel like they're on vacation. When we see her kids seem very happy. So I don't really agree with that being the reason why Robin got to be the focus first, because her kids moved around so much. It wasn't the family's fault that your kids moved around so much, and their kids moved around a lot too. Mona found a house for Robin on Friday. They signed the papers for the home by Sunday, and their first day of school was Tuesday. So boom, Robin's house is good. They're great. We see at the rental house, the big one, that all the other kids are getting ready for school, and that is kind of hectic because you have elementary, middle school, and high school schedules. So they have some that have school 7, some that have 8, some that have school at 9, and they have to drive them 30 minutes away into the district where they desire for these children to go to school. Logan lets us know that he's kind of nervous about going to this new school because not only is it a new school, but it's big. And Maddie lets us know that she doesn't really want to be there, so she doesn't plan on making friends there. I think anybody who is a child or a teenager who didn't want to move may take that stance in the beginning, but we know over time that Maddie had different opinions. We see the family moving Robin into her house, and she talks about how she likes her house very homey, and she hasn't decorated in like 6 months because she moved so much. We saw your house, the one that you had in I can't remember where you lived, but 4 to 5 hours away from Utah, and it wasn't decorated that much either. So if you say so. I was about to talk about Robin's hoarding ways, but I'll stick to the material at hand. I don't care about how much Robin has moved, because I feel like she continues to use it as a way of getting out of things and making the family feel sorry for her. The kids go to school, come back. When asked by Christine how school was, everybody seems to be okay with it, with the exception of Leon. Leon is letting us know right off the bat that they hate it. Cody brings up how paying a mortgage for one house is going to be a lot more inexpensive than having to pay for 4 rentals. Didn't take a mathematician to figure that out. Even now, depending on the size of your home, what I've noticed is rentals tend to be more expensive than mortgages. I joke around about this all the time with my boyfriend. My boyfriend has a home that is, I want to say, 4 times he has 4 times the amount of square footage that I have. Up to date appliances, all that good stuff. He's been in that home for 6 years, right? He has more bathrooms than me, all of this, right? But guess what, you guys? I pay $95 less than what he pays for his mortgage. You heard me correctly, $95. So, as I was saying, it doesn't take a genius to know that sometimes, depending on the home, you will be paying more for a rental than you will be paying for a mortgage. Why wasn't this things that was considered before you guys made this move? I don't care to hear about it. Janelle steps in and says that resources are very scarce, and it's scary. She said when they moved, they all lost their jobs. And I guess by all she means her and Cody, because Mary wasn't working because she got fired. Christine wasn't working that we know of because she was staying at home. And Robin wasn't working because she couldn't get a job. So their final income other than TLC was gone. She says that they're considering going into their retirement to start some sort of business as like a family. The thought of that is so scary to me. But think about it, people. This is what led Janelle down the road where we see her currently, where she is telling us that she does not have anything to show for herself at the age of 50. One of the reasons why Janelle doesn't have anything to show for herself at the age of 50 is because she put everything into the family, including what it seems like we're going to later find out is her retirement. What does Janelle have? Mary, being the faith-filled woman that she is, let me say that over again. Mary, being the faith-filled woman that she is, still feels like even though none of them have jobs and they've made this move, that it's still going to work out for them. She talks again about being led in this direction. Mary really needs to thank God for TLC. because TLC is what kept them floating. None of these moves, even though they might say that TLC is the reason why they had to move in the first place because they came out, you all went on national news stations and all that other stuff. TLC saved the family a lot of financial burdens. So let's not just say it's all, I just feel like she always goes faith-based with everything, and it irks me. Leon is so bored, so Mary gives them the keys. Maddie joins in the passenger seat, and they do donuts. Maddie says she misses Utah and she wants to go back. Both her and Leon point out that they're not going to live in the same homes and they're not going to be able to see each other as often, and that's sad. Once again, the parents have changed the dynamic of the family when they decided to move to Vegas because you took the kids from their one home. So you added another wife, you added 3 more children, you decided to go public, you removed them from their schools, you removed Leon from their private school, you move them to Vegas, and then you separate them from being in the one home where they were able to see each other as often as they wanted to. Looks like the only thing that this move saved them from was from their parents being arrested, because either way, they're separated. The families aren't living together. They did this whole big spiel about how they wanted to make sure that all families remain together, blah, blah, blah. But you go to Vegas and initially you live separately. Now, we know you're eventually going to get on a cul-de-sac and live together. But even then, at some point, you all weren't seeing each other all the time because you got comfortable having your own homes. Janelle finds the next house, and her house has a pool in it. She said Mona originally picked out the house for Mary, but Janelle liked it and she feels bad about this. When I heard Janelle say that, it made me wonder how many times Janelle put herself on the back burner for the benefit of the family. We hear her talk about how she's not picky and how, Mary is more picky about certain things than some of the other wives, and how she didn't want to skip the line, but she just felt comfortable. And Janelle should be comfortable. As much as Janelle gives to the family, I don't see anything wrong with her getting a home that she was happy with being in. We get to Robin, who decides that because she just knows all when it comes to polygamy, even though she at this point has not even been married to Cody for a year, she's going to tell us how. There's a certain balance as a sister wife. And sometimes that requires that you put your sister wife's needs above your own needs and their wants above your wants. And that the key is respecting each other. That chick always knew exactly what to say. And Cody was always sitting right beside her, gleaming as she said it. Robin is good at what she does. She's able to fool Cody. She's not able to fool some of the wives because she fooled Mary for a long time too. But she's really good at fooling Cody. It's now 2 weeks until they have to be out the rental, and Mary and Christine still haven't found anything. McKelty is not happy about the move. So as her mom says, and McKelty later tells us, she acts out. And her way of acting out is by not being modest. I did not like it then, and I don't like it now. I feel like McKelty attempted to push her mother's buttons a lot. And despite how you're feeling, you can say what's wrong without taking it that far. I could be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if one of the reasons why McKelty got so close to Robin is to get under her mother's skin. Maybe over time she did form a tight bond with her because she's still very much interactive with her. But I feel like it initially started because she wanted to get under her mother's skin. As she's bending over in the kitchen to do something, Mary tells her, Mykelti, go find another shirt to put on. I love you, but you need to put on another shirt. I don't know exactly what Mykelti and Mary went through, but I know that Mykelti and her husband, Tony, have a Patreon. And I've seen some clips. I'm not subscribing to their Patreon because I can't take that much of Mykelti. But I've seen some clips. And one of the clips that they showed Mykelti on YouTube saying that she doesn't feel like Mary is safe. So it makes me wonder what Mary did to Mykelti that she doesn't feel like she's safe. Now, that family uses that word a lot because we've heard Robin say that she didn't feel like the boys coming over for Christmas would be safe. So I want to know what was done that makes her feel uncomfortable. Now that they're in Vegas, the parents are concerned about the influence that the clothing is going to have on their children and that their environment is going to have on their children. They're not on the strip. So TLC showing us images of people on the strip with their cheeks and stuff out. These kids are not going to school with their cheeks out. Now, they show more than, what they might show in Utah, but have a talk with your kids. Let them know your standards. And that's that. Tell them to be leaders and not followers and keep it moving. Christine lets us know that part of the problem why she's not finding what she wants is because she wants 5 bedrooms. She wants to be in the same district and she feels like she deserves and she's entitled to have that. We do know that she did find what she wanted before it was time to move out. We then have Robin and Mary go back to Utah to get the remainder of the furniture and the pets that were left there because they left the pets with certain people. They do their version of packing and loading up the truck, and then they get back to Utah. No, not Utah, Vegas. Once again, in the confessionals, we hear again about the relationship that Robin and Mary have. Mary brings up how some people may think that Robin was a mistress and a home wrecker, but she's not. She's not a mistress, you guys, but I do believe she is a home wrecker. We hear about this roller coaster ride between Robin and Mary. Mary lets us know that she felt like once she introduced them and he started courting Robin that she was no longer needed, and it was a struggle for her because she had jealousy. I just feel like there was a disconnect early on because of more than that. Maybe Cody stopped showing Mary the same amount of loving that he used to give her, but I feel like it was more of a disconnect than that. Both Mary and Robin say that the police investigation shook their family and they all went inward and they got into a tight bubble. And in that tight bubble, they were able to get back close. Mary said that her and Robin's relationship is what she always wanted with her sister wives. She wanted something deep and real. Robin really had Mary fooled. Mary brought Robin into the family because Mary thought that Robin was going to be not just her sister wife, but her ally. I've said this before. When I hear her talking more and more about it, it seems to me like Mary was not close to Christine or Janelle, but that she tolerated them. Because if you were close to them, you wouldn't say things like this relationship dynamic that you and Robin now have is the type of relationship that you always wanted with your sister wives. You saying that implies that you didn't have it with your other sister wives. We then see that Mona found a house for Mary, but it's more than a mile away from the others. And so the separation begins. She likes it because the floor plan has a lot of space. It has 3 bedrooms. And then Cody lets us know this is where he had to take a chill pill. Y'all, Cody is terrible. Cody lets us know that he's frustrated because Mary and Mariah's rent is going to cost just as much as Christine and Janelle's rent. Now, he conveniently left Robin out of that. He said Christine and Janelle's rent, which makes me wonder if Robin's rent was really significantly lower, or if he just used Christine and Janelle as an example because they have 6 kids. He says he's trying to be fiscally responsible because he has another house that's really, really cheap right next to Robin. And this is where I had to say, I kind of understand what he's saying, but this is where the problem lies. We were told early on that the family shares different responsibilities. And Janelle and Cody paid the mortgage and the bulk of the bills while Mary had little bills. So I wonder how, now that they're in Vegas and nobody's working, how is that money being divvied up now? Does Mary need a bigger house? No. Should Mary have to settle? No. Mary has been married to this man for a long time. And I'm sure that she's had to sacrifice some things that she wanted for herself because she had to help take care of the needs of multiple children that aren't biologically hers. They're not just buying things for their kids, even though we heard Christine and Janelle talk about how sometimes their kids may want something and they don't do it. We already know that Mary at some point does pour into the other kids. Example, Christmas time, her doing pajamas for all the children. That's an example of her doing stuff for kids other than her own. So I refuse to believe that Mary didn't put certain money into the pot over the years as well. Mary begins to cry as Cody is speaking, and Cody's asking her, if she's taking it personal. And Christine speaks up for her, being the good sister wife that Christine is, and says that she's taking it personal. So of course Mary's taking it personal. He then says, why did Mary get that big of a place when she only had one child? That's what I'm always afraid of a wife saying to me. Are you afraid of a wife saying that, Cody? Is that what Cody's afraid of? Or is Cody just feeling away himself? And as he does sometimes, that we now see, is he blaming it on the wife because it makes him feel better doing that? Janelle says that Mary tried to find a house that was smaller and cheaper, but she deserves to have the home that she wants, and that's what's important to her. Mary then says that the fact that she has less kids, it seems that she doesn't deserve as many perks. This is not something that Mary came up with out of thin air. I believe that over the years, Cody has made her feel like this. I don't feel like the moms made her feel like she was less than because she was only able to have one child. I feel like the religion, and definitely Cody, made her feel that way. As women, first of all, as women, sometimes, in my opinion, we can relate more to each other when it comes to stuff like this. So like pregnancy. Anyone who's had a miscarriage knows what that does to you. And anyone who wanted to have children and couldn't understands the void that creates. So Mary doesn't need to be reminded, like she will be later on in this episode, about the things that she wasn't able to do. Robin then tells us that she doesn't believe any of them feel that way, but there's a lack in Mary's life because Mary wasn't able to have as many kids. Robin, you haven't been there long enough to determine the way that Mary feels. And the fact that you said this shows me how even early on like that, Robin was trying to get in Mary's psyche. I don't think that Robin was saying that out of concern. I think Robin was very well aware, because Cody and her pillow talk, that that was an issue for Mary. Cody says that he eventually got over it and he agreed that, Mary made the right decision. Christine points out that she knew as soon as she saw the house, one of the reasons why Mary wanted the house is because it's a big gathering space, and Mary probably thought about all the great family functions that they can have in there. And they all agree, yeah, that's a lot of what led to it. They have a block party where one of the neighbors says that before he met the Browns, he didn't think a lot about polygamy. He said he feels like if a man wants more than one wife, that's between him and God. He sees that relationship, though, not as love, but as lust, because you can't love multiple women. I personally can't speak to that. I do believe that at one point that Cody did love two of his wives at the same time. Yes, I'm saying two. Because the way Cody speaks now, I don't think he ever loved Christine. I don't think he was ever in love with Janelle. I think that he very much so loved Mary. And I think that he is in love with Robin. Robin says if it was really about lust, prostitutes are cheaper. That to me is some stupid stuff that Cody would say. It didn't land. I don't see what that had to do with anything, but whatever. We meet Edna, who is the neighborhood grandma. She admitted that when she first found out that they were moving in, she didn't have nice things to say, but her daughter said we shouldn't be judging them. The Browns let us know that they're looking for tolerance and friendship. Robin said how living in her neighborhood is definitely not Utah, that it's not country, that there's different cultures there, that there's not Mormons there, but she made sure that she didn't judge a single one of them. One of the things that you definitely don't see a lot of around Mormons is Black Mormons. And I could go into detail about that in here, but I'll save that for another video. But there's a lot of things that you wouldn't be accustomed to coming out of Utah. After the block party, they all go home. They talk about how weird it is. Cody says he's looking forward to the day that the kids bug him to all be in one home. What does the kids bugging you have to do with whether or not you're in one home? Because you didn't listen to the kids when the kids said they wanted to stay in Utah, so I doubt that the kids would have anything to do with whether or not you move in a home, you stay in a home, or you get one home. Nothing about this move made sense, because Mona told them very early on that it would be very hard for them to find a house that could house all of them, and even for them to have it developed. So you knew very early on what you were facing when you moved there. Cody says that he doesn't like driving from house to house every day, and it's better for the kids to have their siblings close. Mary is worried about Leon because Mary's house is a mile away from everyone else, and Leon likes to be around their siblings, and now they're not. Mary says, personally, although she loves the sister wives, and she loves to see them, that she's enjoying her alone time too. Mary should have been careful of when she said this, because she got what she wanted, that alone time and more. Look at her now. It's so sad. Mary is focused on unpacking, while Robin is saying that she doesn't like Mary being further away, that Mary needs to be closer. We see how long that feeling lasted, because now Mary can't even get a phone call during the pandemic from Robin to make sure she's okay, because Robin is having such a hard time dealing with her own stuff, that she can't call this sister wife that she didn't even want to be a mile away from, supposedly. Robin, when she's talking, acts like she lived in a house with all of them, even though she lived up the street. Christine says, are we going to put forth the effort that is required to stay united? I don't know. Mary points out that having 4 houses allows her to have her own focus time because it's just her. Mary wanted more time with him, and Cody wanted more time with his kids. Christine says it does make more sense to have him. She wanted to know if it made more sense to have him over there sporadically, and be able to see him every day, or have him over there once every 4 days. And she says that she's leaning to once every 4 days. And I understand why she's leaning towards once every 4 days. I don't think it's because she didn't want to be around Cody. I think it's because, as we later learn, Cody used to pop in and out however, whenever he felt like. And a lot of times when he came in, the wives felt the need to make adjustments because he was there, rather than having like a specific schedule. So, example, I'm going to be at this house for between 2 and 3, and I'm going to be here between 3:15 and, and 4:15, and so on and so forth. He didn't do that. Instead, he just came and went as he pleased, and that caused her to not be able to have a set schedule, where if it's every 4 days, then there's a set schedule. Janelle says that she's worried that them saying this will not make them want to live close together. We find out from Christine she's enjoying the routine, and that this routine she's developing with her kids. So here we are in season 2 with Christine and Mary letting us know that they like being in their own homes. So we heard this as early on as season 2. So Cody being so devastated about the wives not wanting the one home in Flagstaff is crazy to me, because here they are in season 2 letting you know in this little short time that they've been in Vegas that they like having one home. They like having their own home, I should say. Cody says, Christine and Mary, you feel like I'm giving you more by having you guys further apart from each other? And they both said yes. He says, it scares me that they're saying that they're more comfortable being in separate homes. It's the dynamic that Cody created. When Cody was in the house, we would see Cody running upstairs, downstairs, over here, over there, da da da. I'm sure that there were times where the wives were supposed to have their time and they couldn't have their time because one of the kids needed him or something like that. I'm also sure that those walls were really thin, and some of the wives may have been privy to certain things that they may not have wanted to hear because, where bedrooms are and all that other stuff. You can't be surprised. You can't pop the top off of the jar and then think that they're going to want to jump back in when they've experienced what it feels like to not have to be bottled up. A little while after they moved there, Robin decided that she wants to take a pregnancy test to see what's going on. This means to me that they were pregnant before the move, because we know that Robin found a house after a little over 2 weeks of them being there. She looks at Cody and she says, we're pregnant. We have a bun in the oven. They're expecting the baby in October. They did not move to Vegas until January, so they were pregnant in January. Looked up Cody's birthday. It's January 20th. So they had to be pregnant before they left, because they celebrated the next day for Cody's birthday. And at that point, they were there, I think, for like 2 days when Cody's birthday came. So full gestation for a woman is 40 weeks, which means 10 months. So January 20th is his birthday. She's due sometime in October. She probably got pregnant a couple weeks before they left for Vegas. They're excited. They haven't told anybody in the family. They want to have their fun little secret because we know that they like to have secrets. Robin says she's worried about how Mary is going to take it because she knows Mary wanted to have more children. I do not doubt that Mary wanted to have more children. But putting this on Mary and continuing to hound her about it is annoying to me. Leon is 16 at this point. Christine has just had Truly some months ago. I'm sure that she can handle Robin being pregnant. She plans to go to Mary's house before they have family dinner to let Mary be the first to know. She says she doesn't want it to be painful for her. And of course, she says all of this in front of Cody. She wants to tell it to her with love and understanding. Mary is going to embrace it. Mary has always embraced all of Robin's children, even to the point where she sacrificed her marriage and got an official divorce so that Robin's children could be adopted. So you telling Mary that you got pregnant first, if you just wanted to tell her first because y'all are closer, then tell her first. But stop acting like you're doing it because you just want to save her from the tragedies of not being able to conceive. You guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Have you been able to see some of the downfall yet? Do you think that we're seeing it this early on, or am I just grasping at straws? Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, and until next time.